The next time you're in Portland, step back into the 19th century and all aboard the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad.
I think there's something magic about a train, anyway. I used to see the Bridgeton-Saco River go by, and that went fairly close to my folks had a cottage on Hancock Pond, and the train used to go by, and my brother and I used to go out and stand and watch it go by, you know. I always wished we could do something like that.
Yeah, we're about ready to go here.
Okay, I'll build a fire.
The magic and history of Maine's railroad industry is preserved at the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum in Portland's Old Port. There, a mostly volunteer organization runs not only the daily seasonal operation of the trains, but a museum chock full of artifacts that tell the history of this unique railway.
The first narrow gauge railroad started in Maine in 1879. There were 5 2-foot narrow gauge railroads in Maine. Narrow gauge is rare to begin with. Most of the narrow gauge is 3 feet. This is the only place that had 2-foot narrow gauge, trains this small. All the railroads were located up country in smaller communities that had been bypassed by the standard gauge railroads. Back then, they didn't pave the roads up country, they didn't plow the roads. The railroads were really the lifeline for these communities to the outside world. The last railroad went out of business in 1943. They went out of business because they started to pave the roads, they started to plow the roads, more and more cars, trucks, and buses took commerce away from the railroads. Then the Depression pretty much finished them off.
Every train you see nowadays is a standard gauge locomotive or train or track. That means there's 4 feet 8.5 inches between the rails. We're a 2-foot narrow gauge railroad, only 24 inches between our track. That was unique to Maine. It only existed in Maine from 1879 to 1943. Our trains are smaller, lower, shorter, lighter, and they were used to connect typically rural communities with the standard gauge railroad network. But these are unique American locomotives and cars and equipment. They only existed in Maine. And that's why it's important to us to preserve them.
What to you is the best thing about being able to work here in the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad itself?
Oh, the people I meet. One time I had 7 different countries represented on the train. And like today we had 2 groups of seniors, and they're always fun. And the little kids, I love the little kids. I have a lot of fun with them. I drive everybody crazy with them because I get them to do things that they want to do, and that people with them don't want them to do that. I like, you know, when I blow the horn, I say, okay, you holler louder. And they all do, and of course that drives everybody crazy. They quiet, everybody be quiet. That's a lot of fun. But I meet a lot of people from all over the world, all over the United States. Everybody seems to like the ride. We've got a pretty ride, I think.
Volunteers are what makes the museum run. They have just over 2 paid staff members. Everyone else, including the conductors, maintenance crew, restoration team, and museum staff are there volunteering. From weekly story times to special steam train runs, to the holiday favorite Polar Express, volunteers are what make it possible for enthusiasts and families to ride the rail.
Most of our business is families with children. We have some small kid-sized trains. We have play tables for the children. We have conductors' hats and engineer hats and uniforms they can put on. We're very much into building on the children's love for trains, hoping that they'll be volunteers and members, maybe donors sometime in the future.
Say all aboard.
Oh, little guys, they'll come in here and they'll get all dressed up in the museum, and they'll put a conductor hat on. They'll come out here, and a lot of them, okay, I need some help. What can I do? Okay, you holler all aboard for me. Well, I mean, he grows like that, just in that short time. He really does great for him. And they can hear him the whole length of the train.
Want to know more about the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum? Log on to their website. It's mainenarrowgauge.org. There's a link on myfoxmaine.com.